All right, a police raid on a small town newspaper is raising eyebrows and questions about press freedom and power of the police. But now one of the co-owners of the paper is dead, and her son is blaming the tactics of law enforcement. So here's what we know about this. Authorities in Kansas raided the offices of the Marion County Record, seizing reporters' computers and phones. They also raided the homes of the paper's co-owners, one of whom, 98-year-old Joan Meyer, died one day later. Now, her son, Eric Meyer, says he blames the stress and the trauma brought on by police. We should note that we have reached out to the police department for response. We have not yet heard back. Now, Eric Meyer joins us live now. Eric, I'm so sorry for your loss, and thank you for taking the time.
Thank you, Natasha. Appreciate it.
I know that you believe that the stress of the raids contributed to your mother's death. Can you tell us how she reacted to everything as it unfolded?
Well, it's not just me. It was also the coroner who visited her house after the death. She's 98 years old. She's in fairly good health for a 98-year-old. And police knock at her door, and they stand there for a couple hours, as she said, just watching me. Why are they watching me like I'm some common criminal? And they waited for apparently the police chief to show up to search the premises. And she spent the rest of the day being concerned about this, as I think anybody would. When you're 98 years old and you've lived in this house for 70 years, they actually moved there the day before I was born, and I'm 69 with a birthday coming up. So she basically had her world invaded. And the fact that she says, where are all the good people who will prevent this? Why is this happening? The people used to respect information. They would never think about doing something like this. Now the past 50 years of her life working at the newspaper and co-owning it with me, she felt like everything was worthless. Everything had gone away. She muttered during the night. She wouldn't eat her dinner. She wouldn't eat breakfast. She wouldn't sleep. She sat up most of the night, muttering things like, "This is going to be the death of me." I tried to calm her down and say, "I think maybe good will come out of this in the end. That something will be exposed and we'll be able to advance out of it." And she says to me, "I'll be dead by then." And sure enough, about 2 o'clock, I was asking her if she wanted to eat something and take her pills, and she says, "I'm not feeling very well. I don't know that I," and died right in the middle of a sentence.
I'm so sorry. What did the coroner say to you when they arrived?
Well, the coroner had been her primary care physician for many, many years and had seen her recently in the hospital. And I asked him, I said, I didn't say it quite in these terms, but I said, I think the police chief killed her just now. And he says, I'm certain that the stress of all this was a major contributing factor. She didn't have a cardiac history. She didn't have, other than high blood pressure, but she wasn't somebody who was that fragile. She was a fighter who felt frustrated that she would be so pleased by the outpouring of support that the newspaper has received from people around the nation, around the world, since this happened, that would please her. I just wish she had a chance to see that.
I have 2 more quick questions for you. Did police tell you why they were searching your homes and offices, and how would you describe their conduct?
Their conduct was okay, I guess. They told us only that we had a search warrant that alleged that we had committed identity theft and improper use of a computer. I was looking at the warrant. They didn't say how, because what really had happened was we'd gotten a document from a source, and we were attempting to verify the accuracy of that document. It turned out that it was a bunch of arguing in a divorce case, so we decided not to use it. But we notified the police at the time that someone had this document and gave it to us. We weren't sure whether they were authorized to have it. We'd verified that it was real, and there were also allegations that the police were allowing the target of this to drive illegally. She'd apparently not had a license for more than 14 years. We reported that to the police and offered to give them assistance if they thought there was some case that they wanted to investigate. We never heard back from them. A week later, they raided our office.
Well, and police say that once the details of this case come to light, that people will see they are justified. What do you have to say to that?
You really believe that? Isn't that what everybody says? There are no other details. We know what we did. Why did they raid the vice mayor's house? Not only do we know what we did, the vice mayor knows what we did. And the person whose identity was supposedly stolen knows what we did. She figured it out. She figured out that her husband had obtained this report and given it to a source who gave it to us, and she admitted that to me 4 days before the raid. If all we did was check it out to make sure that the document was in fact a legitimate document, had no intention of disseminating, which is the restriction on that. If we are guilty of identity theft, so is Marion police officer Zach Hudlin, who was the other person who accessed it. Why, when we verified on a public site, we verified the accuracy of the document, why would we have given our own name? I mean, are we the world's stupidest hackers? No, we're not. And why would we have notified the police? They wouldn't even have known about it if we hadn't notified them of it.
Okay, Eric Meyer, I am sorry again for the loss of your mother. I do appreciate your time today. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.